Hello, welcome to a new episode on our podcast. And today, if you want to learn more about the hustle and bustle of the real estate environment here in the UAE, this is the episode for you. I want to present Mr. Deepak Menon of Mighty Ones Real Estate. Hey, Deepak, how are you?
I'm good, Elias. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you much for asking. Thank you much for coming today.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to learn more about your company, your expertise. But before we dive into, real estate and Dubai and all the interesting things we have to talk about, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got to the world of real estate.
So I'm the co-founder for Mighty One Realty. We're a group of companies, and I've worked with different brokerage before. And with my experience, we formed up Mighty One Realty. So that's how I got into real estate. It's been more than 7 years now. And what do you say?
Yeah, and when we're talking about, this period of time that you are here in Dubai, 7 years is a lot of time in Dubai.
No, so I've been in Dubai since, been around 11 years now.
11 years.
Yes, so I've been in the marketing side. I was into advertising and marketing, and I used to work with developers back then on their marketing side. And that's how I understood the real estate game. Then slowly I got into real estate.
And what made you do this leap of, from advertiser to real estate broker?
See, it's more. I used to sell concerts back in advertising, and in real estate, it's more kind of you're selling something live, and which you're getting something in the future, right? I mean, it's about real estate. So I've done real estate back in my country too. So that's how I got into Dubai real estate.
Amazing, and you've seen Dubai changing over the course of
Of
these
course, since
11 years.
11 years. You're right.
So what has been changed in Dubai?
See, the growth, what you see, I mean, I can say that every 15 days, if you look in Dubai, there's a new change coming in, right? Like, be it flyovers, be it roads, infrastructure, I mean, anything. I mean, even projects, how many projects I've been launching day by day in Dubai.
Yeah.
And the expansion, that is getting crazy in Dubai right now.
Definitely. And let's talk a little bit about the changes in real estate that you see. Let's talk about off-plan. What are the areas, because we've seen a lot of off-plan, we've seen a lot of communities that has been, growing on off-plan. We can name a few, but we can also not name them. But we see them, growing to a certain stage where they are pretty busy. They're getting some traffic, they're getting some, if maybe fed up with buildings, and then there are new communities to work around. What do you see as the current opportunities in off-plan now in Dubai?
Dubai, I think when we look at Dubai is still growing.
Yeah.
Like every day we say keep growing. So people ask how. See, the leader has a vision here, which is the 2040 master urban plan, right? So where Dubai is divided into 5 major zones, right? So now we're looking at communities coming around these kind of places. Right now, let's talk about Dubai South. Dubai South, I think up until 2018, people weren't really aware about such an area, and when people started getting in, the early entry, like people who entered in the beginning, they have seen up to 200% returns in Dubai South. So when we're talking about now products now around Dubai South, talk about DIC. Now, when, you have projects coming closer to the Gantut side. So people are, moving, people are willing to move around. And I don't think so now, if you talk about a community living, people love community living, but there are particular zones what people wanted to be in, right? I mean, say for example, people who are staying here who want a bigger space, they go to the villa side. But still, if you look at the JBR Marina downtown, still busy, right? I mean, New Year still people come down.
Very busy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think it's still growing, and it has a lot of potential to grow again. If you talk about DIFC, they have a version 2.0 coming down. So, when you talk about another opportunities, what is coming in business bay in the future, when we talk about demand and supply, it's going to be niche in these kind of zone 1, zone 2. When I talk about the JBR Marina, we hardly have any land parcels right now there. So people move into the villa side segment where they have a better living in terms of amenities. They can do their jogging, walking, I mean, they have a different lifestyle altogether. But when you come to the side of the city, definitely you have much better things.
Yeah.
Right? So both has its perks.
And say talking a lot about seaside living or waterside living in Dubai.
Right.
And when we are doing that, we used to say and talk about certain neighborhoods or communities, and now the options are growing stronger. We have Maritime City, which is pretty new. We have Dubai Islands, which is growing and thriving.
Right.
What are the most interesting areas around that?
Port Rashid, Yachts and Marina, and the Maritime City, which is adjacent. But looking at what MR is coming to bring in Port Rashid, Yachts and Marina, it's a very big master community again. When you talk about the future marina with the low-rise buildings, more focused towards the family side. And when you talk about Dubai Islands, another island, where you have in golf courses, beach accesses, right? What's the difference between Port Rashid yachts and Palm Jumeirah Bay, right? And you have Dubai Islands. Dubai Islands have multiple beaches, right? And you have a villa community coming. It's a very niche community. And when you talk about Maritime City, which is very closer to the Sheikh Zayed Road, again, 10 minutes. So there's a lot of opportunity. And what you're getting in Maritime City and Rashid Yachts and Marina, compared to the price of Port Al Amir or, Bay, anything near the seaside, it's way much cheaper than compared to all those, what you're right now in the ready market. So there's a lot of potential to grow in these kind of areas.
Yeah, definitely. And when we are, let's get back a little bit to Dubai South again, because I wanted to understand with you how this area will look in 5 or 10, because if you're going now to Dubai South, you don't see a lot.
Right.
You see some communities being built there, which is nice, but you don't see, when we are going to the marina, as you mentioned, we're going to the business bay, you see a lot. Dubai South is still developing.
Right.
What is this area going to look like in 10, 5, 15 years from now?
I mean, it's going to be, you see, that's the best part. What Dubai South is just not a community, or it's just not a small area. It's a vast area with different districts, right? So when you're talking about Dubai being the aviation capital of the globe, and you have the logistics district there, you have a commercial district, then you have the expo side, which is a premium living right now. And you have the residential district, and you have MR South. So I remember in 2018 when MR launched, the price was 1.35 million with a post-handover payment plan. And they also had back then 0.6% payment plan. Now when you're looking at currently, what's the price? 2.7, 2.3. So, people who came into that stage when before the entire airport movement was announced, I think they did a very wise decision, but still there is chance. Now you have areas adjacent to Dubai South like DIC, hardly 10 minutes to Dubai South. So you can see when the airport comes in, it's just not the airport and the airport staff. We're looking at an entire different infra plus, companies coming in there.
Yeah.
Companies are headquartering in Dubai right now. And being this closer to the port, it makes a different, it's going to be really different compared to most of the areas, right? Because you have the airport, then you have very closer to Marina, the Sheikh Zayed Road too. It's hardly 18 minutes if you drive from Dubai South. And the metro connectivity, what they give, that's brilliant.
Definitely. And, we're also seeing many investors from many price points.
Right.
People are looking for the high-end investments and communities and buildings, and some are looking for the budget ones. Give us some opportunities for the budget. If we are, we're seeing communities like Arjan, like investment park.
Right.
Maybe there are other options that you see that are interesting as of now.
So if you talk about DIP being, the investment park, right? I mean, when those were leasehold before. Now, developers have come in, they are coming with freehold properties. Now, being next to the airport, that's again adding value to their properties again. And when you're talking to Arjan, again, that's closer to the Zone 1, the Sheikh Zayed Road. You have the, Dubai Hills Mall nearby, and Arjan has the Dubai Miracle Garden. So when we look at the price per square feet back then, it was 400 to 500 dirhams lesser than what it is today, right? I mean, these are like prime zones. There are hardly any land parcels, right? And if you talk about JVC, still thriving, right? In JVC, it's
a lot of people think that JVC is off its peak,
right.
You might say.
See, in JVC, you can even get a one bedroom for 700,000, and you can get a one bedroom right now for 1.4 million.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm living in JVC.
Okay.
And I'm seeing so many TikToks saying that it's a bad neighborhoods to live in, and I'm really enjoying JVC. I really like it. I compare it to, let's say, the marina, let's say. It doesn't take me, 30 minutes to go over a traffic light,
Exactly.
I'm
it's
getting,
really close by.
There's been some major changes in traffic around, and now it's very easy to go in and out. And also there are many gardens, there are many, I can walk with my dog pretty nicely around the neighborhood.
That's
and I wouldn't be able to do it in Business Bay. I wouldn't be able to do it in the marina.
That's
so I just very weird to me those things.
How long have you been JVC?
2 years almost.
2 years.
Yeah.
So before, I think the Circle Mall also shaped a lot.
Yeah.
How different things.
No, it changed.
JVC,
it definitely changed, but I think it's a very good neighborhood to live in, even today in Dubai.
Of course, any day. See, that's what I'm saying. See, when people, you have to understand one thing, See, you can go to DLRC, Dubai Land Residential Complex. It's hardly, again, 20-25 minutes to downtown if you talk about a center point. But JVC being, 15 minutes to downtown, again, right, on a good day, right? And you
And
have
50 minutes to Marina, and 15 minutes to the Palm Jumeirah.
No one can change your real estate. I mean, the land is there, I mean, no matter what, if it is a bad neighborhood later on. I mean, when you talk about the businesses, what has been in Dubai right now, it's around TCOM, you have the media city, right? I have people who only intend to come in a particular building in JVC, right? I mean, you can see a one bedroom from 50,000, and I know there are one bedrooms to 120,000. Right, so you have a mixed crowd, and like you said, it is a very lively neighborhood. You have a lot of restaurants, parks, that adds a lot of value. Where in Dubai they have. Right now, if you look at Business Bay, right now you can see certain areas they are creating linear parks between buildings right now. So they, I think altogether in terms of infrastructure, it's not people think, okay, it's just building coming in and, it's just a lot of construction happening in Dubai. No, the master plan or the government, right, they do prioritize about how the spacing is done, what facilities people do get. Now you can see in Business, there are almost like 5 to 6 parks coming in between buildings, right? And if you look at the Marasi side, the other side of Business Bay, they have multiple parks which is newly like between buildings. So when you talk about, people love that. So they are trying to incorporate those two in these busy areas, but JVC is entire a different ballgame, right? I mean, different parks, and now still projects are coming, they're getting sold out. Talk about Bingati, the Circle, one of the tallest tower which came recently, sold out. Studios at 700,000. I mean, see, no matter what, I currently watch the studio rental in JVC. About say 55 to 70,000 depending on the property.
Yeah.
So still look at, you're buying something right now, and of course in apartment, studios are for rental returns. So people should take in mind, they are buying it for getting pure rental returns. It's not something that, okay, I can't say, okay, so buy a 700,000 studio and it'll jump to 1 million. No, that's not the point, right? There are certain segments what can appreciate. Now, like you said, in Dubai South, if you talk about MR South, now you have the sizes, right? 1,800 square feet, 3 bedroom for 3 million, overlooking the golf. So that has a lot of potential. When you're talking about a golf course, I still remember back in 21, I had a client, and we were talking about the golf links, 2.3 million, bigger plot, 4,500 square feet plot. And I was insisting him, like, please go for this. They had a post-standard payment plan back then. Now the current price is about 5 million for the same property. It's on the golf. So anything, see, there are certain segments that you can jump into, right? And where you can really make money.
Yeah.
But if you go for a studio in any location, it's not for appreciation, it's for rental returns. And one bedrooms, that's the easiest unit, right? Investor units.
Definitely.
Are studios and one bedrooms. Nowadays, 2 bedrooms does add value. Now the 1+ study like we have. And you talk about Creek Harbor. Now when you're talking about Creek Harbor, you're getting a 1,800 square feet apartment for close to 3.4 million, right? I mean, a different style. Even that's another master community, what is going to be looking amazing. I love Creek Harbor.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. It's a beautiful neighborhood. I really like to walk there,
Yes.
work there sometimes. Let's talk about, there's something, you mentioned JVC. It's also one of the neighborhoods that I'm always hearing about on that note, but there are some other communities as well that are saying that 2026 is going to be the decline of those, the pricing in those neighborhoods, because there'll be so many new buildings launched.
Right.
So the price is going to go down. What do you think about that?
See, there are two things, right? I mean, if you talk about prices going down, I'm not sure what people think about. See, now when you're talking JVC, you have buildings which is 12 years old, right? For example, I don't want to name any, but there are a few buildings which are very old.
They are.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't have those kind of amenities and facilities. Today, Ilyas, you're paying 50,000 for a, say, 1-bedroom apartment in JVC. And hardly you have a gym and a small pool, right? I mean, when you're coming, now be it the developers who are coming with 30, 40 floors or, and they're coming multiple amenities and your rent is about 60,000. Right? What happens? People tend to move to the newer buildings. They want facilities inside the building. So that's what we say, like, okay, fine. You can get, so what happens? Demand for the newer buildings will increase, right? For example, you're going for buying a house, and budget is definitely a constraint over here, right? I mean, if you have a really good budget, you can extend, you can buy a better place, but you can still, for 700,000, you can get a 1-bedroom in JVC. But the facility, what you're getting is that the building's tenure, I mean, the age of the building is that old, right?
Yeah.
And you're getting something new for close to 1 million. And you are looking at multiple things on that building, right? So these are the differences. So when we talk about supply coming in, yes, supply is coming in, which is for a better, right? Nowadays, people want everything in-house, inside the building. That's what we're looking at. So when we're talking about rental, so there will be people who has a different kind of budget. So for example, in JVC, someone has a 50,000 budget. He can accommodate. Who has, you pay more, 20,000, you get a better facility. That's how it's going to work.
Yeah, so it's always a
It's
supply
like
and demand.
3-star, 4-star, 5-star hotels, you can say. So newer the property comes in,
Yeah.
that helps around that.
There is always a market, I feel, for 5-star hotels and also for cheap dorms.
Of course, there is market
There
for
is
everything.
need
You're
for
right.
anything.
That's
So it's always the case. Let's talk about a little bit of your experience of some notable transactions you've made. Want us to tell you about maybe something that you've done recently?
Let's talk about Dubai South. When we had to sell Dubai South, it was a challenge initially where, we had to convince our customers, like clients. So the people who entered Dubai South are the previous investors, old investors of Dubai. When we spoke and when we could convey our message and make them understand what is going to be happening there, they were convinced. And people have made 200 times returns on their investments in Dubai South. So when we're talking about now, still there's an opportunity. Now, if you talk about villas and people say you can make good premium villas in townhouse segment. Yes, that's true in a way, because again, supply is less, right? I mean, you don't have that much supply and as a different living altogether. And when you talk about apartments, there are certain apartments, talk about Royal Atlantis. I mean, talk about, when you want a higher premium, you step into those kind of properties. Sure. That's how it is. So more you want to get the premium, more you pay. Right? That's how it works. Not everything is for appreciation or for flipping.
Definitely. And, let's talk a little bit about some international businesses, because we're seeing a lot of them in Dubai right now.
Of course.
How much do you think that Dubai is attractive in the real estate perspective for international businesses?
See, when we're talking about now, people earlier weren't aware about what Dubai had. I mean, I had people come and ask me, is Dubai, liquor friendly? Is Dubai this way? This is the only country, I think, which is...
As my wife has to wear, a abaya.
Yeah. The people have asked me such questions when I go outside. But then when we talk about even the golden visa, be it the 10-year visa, what they're giving. So people, earlier we didn't have those, right? Now we have those when 2020 came in, the pandemic. The government took actions, right? The actions does matter. So they took an action where, they provided the business owners who were stuck outside, they could come to Dubai. And they give the golden visa initially, that visa. Now, when we're talking about people coming from outside, anything happens. Dubai is the safest place where you can, park your investment. Right now, a lot of businesses are moving to Dubai. A lot of rich people are moving into Dubai right now. So when you're talking about the growth, it's a different, as a location, it's a very strategic location. Like to anywhere in the globe, it's just about 7 hours, right? Maximum 8 hours you can reach anywhere in the globe.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So we're talking about people from Canada, US, Africa, it's always been there. And Singapore, even small islands, people from small islands are coming and, investing in Dubai.
Definitely.
Right? And of course, our Indian market being 40%, they are most of the people who come and buy in Dubai. And we've been doing a lot of business back from India too. And a lot of people are moving and relocating their businesses here because it is easier. And tax-free returns, that's the main thing here.
Definitely.
Right? On real estate, they're not giving you any tax.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunities here, as you mentioned. Let's talk, we talked about rental returns from real estate, which is very nice and important. Let's talk about flipping, because it's also something that people love to do, buying some sort of apartment, doing renovations for it or change it in some way and then sell it again for a higher price.
Yeah.
Where do you feel that there are opportunities on that segment in Dubai right now?
See, we're talking about refurbishing and again off-plan. So when you're talking about ready segment, right, there are certain areas where, say in Marina, right, which is around the Marina, you have those buildings. There's no other new building coming in. So if there is a 2-bedroom apartment for say 2.7 million, people are spending 150 on tops and they're making another 300,000 on tops of it, right? So there are certain kind of investors who look into the ready segment and they want to redo their apartment and make some money out of it. That's been working in Dubai a lot. If you talk about it in villa segment too, people are doing the same thing. They're refurbishing, renovating. So more you put in money, that adds value to your property. But when you're talking about off-plan, when you buy the right location, definitely you're going to get in that premium what you're looking for, right? So people are talking about earlier, like I said, 200 times, came on 150. Now still we have a good room of 70 to 80% on the apartment side, right? And in the villa segment, you still have this is the return on your capital, by the way. When you're buying off-plan, we have to understand that we're only putting 50 or 60 or 70 or 80% of your project, depending on developer, right?
Yeah.
That much is only cash flow, your capital what is pumped in. So getting the returns on those.
And when we're talking about flipping, can you give some tips for someone that wants to look for an apartment of such? what he needs to take care of, what he needs to know before doing that?
The frequent question I ask is, I get asked is like, I want to buy a property. Within 6 months, I want to sell my property. Within 8 months, I want to sell my property. See, I'm sure even people who buy gold, they hold their gold for 1 year.
Yeah.
At least, right, to get the value, the 10% hike, what we've been seeing from past 10 years. So when you're talking about flipping, again, please understand that, when you're buying, why would I buy something from you? For example, you bought something for 1 million, right? And why would I give you a premium when I already have an opportunity to buy in the off-plan side by paying you 50% to get the NOC from the developer and the premium? Rather wait till the handover is done, right? So people who are coming into the investment side, holding is the main thing. Minimum of 2 years in Dubai in apartment segment. If they hold, they'll get the right value. So I always tell my clients that get the handover, rent it for 2 years, so you get that major chunk of returns, right? You're getting say 8-16% maybe right now if in certain locations, and sell it. Even if you make another 30 to 40% premium on your property, you're still making another 50% in 4.5 years, which is a good amount, right? I mean, there were been opportunities. So when the entry is the main thing, right? Now that's the reason. Like when you're talking about Maritime, Rashid Johnson Marina, Dubai Islands, good time to enter right now. The price is sweet. I mean, you have a good payment plan. So by the time it matures, you're getting that amount to gain,
Definitely. And when we're talking about the international buyers, like we said right now, what kind of tips they should know before jumping into the real estate market of Dubai?
Right. So you should have a dedicated portfolio manager or a real estate advisor. We are not people. See, there's a big difference of how we work in Dubai. We don't call ourselves as brokers here, right? We are advisors. We help people, grow their money, and we advise. Right, transparency is very important. Understand what you want to buy, right, and understand what is your budget. How do you want to enter? Right, people say, okay, I want to enter in $100,000, $150,000. See, then there are certain times, people who comes in to the market, they buy, okay, 8% returns, they can do that. But if you're looking to work your money, definitely there's a different segment altogether. It's not everywhere you park and you get that returns, right? So if you want to understand, you should know you should have a track record of previous transaction where it performed. Right, so that would be a tip for the international investors. They should be aware of what budget they have and what they're looking at, and get to an advisor who can help you with that.
Definitely. And when we're talking about different lifestyles in Dubai, as we mentioned, also when it comes to apartments, there are the high luxury lifestyle and there is the little bit more budget lifestyle. How do you feel both of them are catered in Dubai as of now?
So it's again the need, right? I mean, if you ask people, there are certain people I know have sold a townhouse to one of my client, and he's right now like, I want to come to this side of Dubai and I want an apartment. I think that's more what they like. So it's personal choice again, right? So people who want to move into the villa, definitely you're not going to get that beach luxury or the downtown side, not in the Dubai, the villa side, but they have a different thing altogether. You have an entire community, what is there actually. You have multiple facilities. The life is different in a villa and an apartment.
Of course.
Right? I mean, personal choice it is.
So Deepak, I wanted to ask you, we talked about all sorts of investments regarding real estate in Dubai, but there is one that is very popular and people still not sure on how to do it right, which is short-term, Airbnb, you might say. What would you say are the best communities to do it as of now in Dubai, and what are the things that people should know before they do that?
Where is leisure in Dubai? Just downtown, Marina and JBR, right? So when we're talking in the future, that's how the plan is to be, right? That's the reason, even if you look at during the New Year's, I think apartments, 1-bedroom gets rented out for 10,000 dirhams a day.
Yeah.
And in Marina, always been busy. A lot of people still there are few units, very few inventory right now in Airbnb. So when we're talking about the new towers, what has been launching in Business Bay, people are saying the prices are very high, but those will gain traction in the future. That's how it's going to be in Marina too. And when we talk about certain areas, people who want to stay for a longer term, right? JVC, you get 3 months in Arjan, you get 3-month rentals. Even if now we are getting demand even for Dubai Silicon Oasis, right? The academic city is nearby. A lot of people are coming and studying. Now, earlier Dubai wasn't a playground for education, Now I can see a lot of people from different countries coming, sending their kids to study in Dubai. That's other thing. And they're looking at 1 year rental, 3 months rental, or they keep moving because there are no much facilities right now in that area. If you talk about staying, right, like hostels as such, but then short term is key there too. And when you're talking about Dubai Land Residential Complex, I know a lot of people who are staying there on short term basis, right? And JVC, it's always been there. So Airbnb definitely moving forward in the future too. That's how it's going to be here, right? A lot of people coming in as businesses grow in. Companies are headquartering in Dubai, right? People will come in for 3 months, 4 months. They look at Airbnbs. I've been meeting people off lately, in places, and they've been saying they're staying for 2 months in this place, and that's
especially with renting rules in Dubai. It's not very easy to go into the rental market here.
Exactly.
Paying one check, paying 2 checks for a year, it's tough.
Exactly, yeah, it's tough. I mean, so it's better, when you can also make some money out of it, and people who choose Dubai as a second home, they even look at short-letting the apartment with companies. You can see in past 3 years, a lot of short-term rental companies have emerged, and they are getting business, right? If you see number of business opening, that means there is business coming in.
Definitely. And let's talk about one more community we haven't discussed, and it's also very interesting for either budget buyers or people are looking for something a little bit interesting and different, which is Dubai Silicon Oasis. Oh, yeah. It's a very nice neighborhood. I've been there many times. What can you tell us about it?
So, Silicon Oasis, I think when we started, I started my career, we can say, inside that place, and I know how it's growing. And the vision, right? Again, you can say Silicon Oasis is a vision by Hassan Sheikh Ahmed, right? Same way, DWC, Dubai South. So when we're talking about the growth there, it's going to be the IT hub of Dubai. And you have the academic city nearby. So places like Livan, Dubai Land, now a lot of developers are coming in, buying plots and building. And that's the opportunity what we're looking at. Sky Coast Towers, if in Dubai Land complex, I think years back when it was launched 1 bedroom for 800,000. If I tell you the 1 bedroom rent back then was 60,000, there was a time where the rentals were working even downtown, right? How the pricing were.
Yeah.
So see, there is always a right time to entry. No, I mean you can enter anytime. So Silicon Oasis still has a lot of opportunity if you look into that side because it's closer to Emirates Road again. From airport, it's hardly 27 minutes from there.
Yeah.
Right? And you talk about anything, be it Majan, right? The other side, Barari side. You have now the, near the Global Village, the Wadi Al Safa 3, 2, 5, these areas, a lot of apartments, communities coming in, like the Garfoods. Now Azizi's got the Azizi Milan, right? And few developers coming in, standalone towers there. It is a lot of opportunity in the Dubai Land altogether.
Definitely. And when you're talking about the future of Dubai, we mentioned Dubai South. In 5-10 years from now, how do you see Dubai in general, in this span of time?
2020, we were at 2.4 million at population. Now we are at 3.8. They're saying by 2030, we are going to be 6 million. By 2040, it's 8 million. After that, I don't think so. Dubai as a, country, we can get in more people. We will by 2040, I think we still have a good room, to move. And that's how, the other Emirates are emerging now. You can see a lot of freehold properties coming in Sharjah and Ras Al Khaimah, Ajman, right? So that's when they act. So right now it's the right time to enter Dubai. You still have that good amount of time to, make money in Dubai.
And still, as you mentioned, have some other Emirates that will have some very good opportunities.
So when you have Ras Al Khaimah, the casino coming in, right? So earlier you could say Dubai was a 6-month to 7-month season. Now when you're talking about when a casino when the casino launches, it's going to be an entire season, right? It's not a 6-month season or 3-month season. People are going to fly in.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? People are going to fly in, and if as busy as Ras Al Khaimah gets, Dubai is also going to get busier. Where do they spend their money? If someone wins in the casino, or the family wants to shop around, where do you have? Where do you have the
need to spend your casino money somewhere.
That's what. So see, when you talk about, so it's not going to be a 6-month season. Dubai in the future, by after 28, the entire year is going to be a season in Dubai.
Definitely, I feel like that too, and I feel that Dubai is going to grow a lot, and I feel that Dubai itself has a lot to grow. Once they have Al Maktoum Airport ready, DXB Airport is going to get apartments instead, so it's going to be a new community. So
exactly,
Dubai has a lot to grow. I think for a lot of places, and it's a very big city.
Exactly.
People don't know how big of a city it is. Deepak, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up this conversation?
I think that's all about it.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very interesting conversation, and we talked pretty broadly about the Dubai market in Dubai, and we learned a lot. Deepak Menon of Mighty Warners, thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to us. See you next time. Bye-bye.
See you.